What's happening, guys? Nathan here, and welcome back to the N&N podcast. As always, I'm joined by Northie. How are you doing, sir?
I'm alright, buddy. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. Not too bad.
Good.
And today we're carrying on with our Premier League predictions. It's game week 3. If you've not checked out game weeks 1 and 2, please be sure to do so. There's been some real corporal stinkers in there. It's fair to say. But yeah, game week 3, we're going to preview all the fixtures and give our predictions. So yeah, that's about it. That's the meat and the gravy. I'll pass on to the veg. Mr. North, your predictions on the screen now, I believe.
Yep. Thank you. As you can see across the bottom.
Away, young man.
Thank you. As you can see across the bottom, my luxurious scores. And first up, Brighton at home against United. I've gone for a 2-1 home win, which may raise a few eyebrows. But I watched United the other night. Didn't think much to them. I know it's early doors and it was the first game in. But Palace just seemed to run them ragged. The counter-attack, United just couldn't cope. And I feel Brighton will do the same. They're very good at going forward, Brighton. And then with the young fullback, is it Tariq Lamptey? Fantastic young player, and he'll cause them problems all day. So I feel Brighton will get something out of it. I think United are going to have a slow start to the season. Not a home win for Brighton, which I'm sure they'll be ever so chuffed about. Next game, I've gone for a stalemate, 1-1, Palace and Everton. Palace have had a good start, which was completely unexpected. I didn't see it coming, in all honesty, but they seem to be well drilled. Roy's got them doing everything right. Everton, on the other hand, again, another good start, but I think they'll draw each other out, and I think it's going to be a 1-1. It'll be a tight game. I think Palace are always hard to break down anyway at times, and Everton are obviously going to go there, have a lot of the ball. So I think two game plans will clash. I think that'll be a 1-1 draw. Up next, Albion versus Chelsea. I think Chelsea will get that convincing win. West Brom just look like they're leaking goals all over the place. Against our lot, 3-0, I know 2 penalties, but then against Everton, 5-2. The leaking goals is not looking pretty for them, and I think Chelsea they're due to give someone a good drumming, aren't they? And I think West Brom are going to be that team, unfortunately. So a convincing win for Chelsea. Up next, Burnley v Southampton, and unfortunately for Burnley, I think injuries and whatnot are going to cost them dearly. Southampton will pick up the first points of the season that they're going to want. Obviously, against Spurs, we could argue that maybe they were a little bit unlucky. I know in the end it become a bit of a whitewash, but yeah, Southampton, they play attractive football. I think it's only a matter of time until they get going. But Burnley they're lacking them key defenders in Tarkowski and Ben Mee, and if they're not available for the game, I fear the back four is going to be vulnerable again, and they'll leak goals. And I've gone for a 2-1 away win up at Turf Moor. The local Yorkshire derby, Sheffield United v Leeds. I think there'll be goals in it. Sheffield United have not probably got up to the start that they wanted to. Leeds are scoring goals, but they're conceding goals. So I think it's going to be a great game for the neutral, but I think they'll share the points at the end of it. I think Sheffield United will get the first points on the board. Leeds will probably take a point away to Sheffield. They're probably going to take any point they can get at the moment. Obviously, the first aim has got to be to stay in the Premier League before the aim for anything else. Sheffield United, on the other hand, I think will be a bit disappointed to not get the win. But either way, 2-2 in the Yorkshire derby. Up next is Spurs v Newcastle. I've gone for a convincing 3-1 win for Spurs. I don't expect them to have a great season, but they are capable of scoring goals, and they've just brought Gareth Bale.
Gareth Gates. Gareth Gates.
Christ, what a signing. They have brought Gareth Bale back, who's, no doubt he's got some talent about him. And if he starts or even comes off the bench, I think he'll cause Newcastle problems all day long. Newcastle, on the other hand, I thought they got a great win at West Ham, but then they didn't look the same team that played Brighton. I think they're going to be a bit of a mixed bag this season. I don't think you're going to know what you're going to get with them. They'll be capable of getting a goal or two. Callum Wilson's always got that capability of scoring. I just think Spurs will have too much. And I think that win that Spurs got last week against Southampton will probably kickstart them for the season, and they'll go flying. Up next, it's our lot away to Man City. To be honest with you, do I expect a bit of a drubbing? Yes, I do. Do I want a drubbing? No, absolutely not. I'd take a point all day long, but I've gone for a Man City 2-1. I think if we go there and play with a game plan, we can make it difficult for them, and it'll be tight. But Man City are just a different animal, aren't they? They're a great side, and the players that they've got at their disposal, I just think they'll be too much for us. I think most fans, Leicester fans, whilst it sounds silly that you take a loss, a 2-1's respectable, and I think we'll be happy with that. Man City, they just want to get the points on the board. I think they'll take it right down to the wire this year between them and Liverpool. So 2-1 home win for Man City. Up next, West Ham at home to Wolves, and I've gone for a 3-0 convincing win for Wolves. West Ham just look depleted already, don't they? Absolutely depleted. It's third game in. You know, they just don't look. They don't look like they're up for it. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, unfortunately. And I just think it's going to be a long old season for the Irons. Wolves on the other hand, I know they lost the other night to Man City, which they'll be disappointed about, but they're still a class side. They brought in some good signings. I think they'll have too much. And Jimenez, he's banging the goals in already. So 3-0 convincing win, and more misery for the Hammers, unfortunately. Up next, another London club, Fulham, at home to Aston Villa. Aston Villa got their first game underway the other night and beat. It wasn't the first game. Yes, it was Sheffield United, and got the win that they thoroughly deserved, to be honest. But I don't think that's going to be a reflection of how they're going to be this season. I think overall they will struggle. Fulham, on the other hand, I think there'll be another club that'll be down there, and I think it's going to be a game that will lack quality. And I think it will just be a bit of a dull draw, 1-1. It's about as much as I could come up with them pair. They don't excite me in the slightest. And up next, the Scousers at home to Arsenal. I think it'll be a convincing 2-0 win for Liverpool. They will be up there this year, no doubt about it. They're starting to bring in some great signings in Thiago, and there's rumours that they're linked with another player. I'm trying to think of his name off the top of my head. Arsenal on the other hand, they look better, but I don't think they're up there yet. I don't think they can mix it with the big boys just yet. I know they beat them in the Charity Shield, but the Charity Shield's just it's a friendly competition, isn't it? You can't read into that too much. Gone for Liverpool 2-0, convincing win, and those are my predictions. Over to you, Nathan.
Thank you, Northeast. Some interesting predictions there. Yep, on to my predictions then. Starting off, of course, with the Seagulls versus the Red Devils, and the Seagulls are flying high, pardon the pun, and I thoroughly expect that to carry on. I thoroughly think they're going to win 2-1 against Manchester United. Manchester United look shaky Stevenson at the back. Really, really poor. Lindelof and Maguire, absolutely no pace. Turn like a boat. Tariq Lamptey flying down that right-hand side. Sign me up to that boys' fan club. Brighton going places. United, not so much. So I've gone for Brighton 2, Manchester United 1. Moving on to the second fixture of the weekend. Crystal Palace, the Eagles versus the Toffees. And we all know an Eagle likes a bit of toffee. But on this occasion, I'm going for a 0-0. I think, like you said, both teams, they've both had solid starts. I can just see it being quite a cagey game, cancelling each other out. I can see Everton having a lot of the ball, a lot of the play. Palace looking dangerous on the counter-attack. But ultimately, I'm going for a 0-0. The third game is Baggies versus Chelsea. Now, West Brom had a bit of a baptism of fire back in the Premier League, obviously conceding 3 against Leicester and then shitting 5 against Liverpool. Kieran Gibbs slapping James Rodriguez in the face. Slavan Bilic going face-to-face with Michael Dean and getting sent off. So it's not been the ideal start, and I don't think that's going to carry. I think that's going to carry on. In the next game against Chelsea, I've gone for a 2-1 away win. Chelsea have flattered to deceive so far. All these new signings, none of them have really hit the ground running. No. Yeah, it could to be expected. It will take a time to gel. But West Brom, they just don't look like they have enough to cause Chelsea any problems. So I'm saying Chelsea are going to limp over the line in an unconvincing display and win 2-1. Moving on to the next game, it is Clarets versus Saints up at the beautiful Turf Moor, God's country. And I've gone for a 1-0 win to Burnley. Now, Burnley, they gave us a good run for our money last night when they played us in the Premier League. Their squad is thin to the... honestly, their squad is so thin. You could see it on Live Aid. That's how thin it is, their squad. Honestly, flies on the lip and all sorts. It's horrendous. But Sean Dyche is working miracles, and I thoroughly expect Sean Dyche to continue working miracles as long as he's at Burnley. I hope they back him because really he deserves to be back for what he's done for that club. Southampton, on the other hand, capitulated slightly in the second half against Tottenham. Played such a high line, it was unbelievable, almost suicidal at times. And I know Southampton seems to be in a bit of a rut recently, and I just think Burnley against us yesterday, they showed a lot of spirit, a spirited display by the Clarets, despite the fact they've got a lot of injuries and a thin squad and things. There's a bit of discontent in the fan base. I just think Burnley, Turf Moor will just grind out a 1-0 win, and Sean Dyche will love it. Moving on to the next game, like you said, a Yorkshire derby. It's the Blades versus Leeds. I've said it before, I'm not jumping on this Leeds bandwagon. I don't think they're going to break into the top 6 or top 8. I think they're a very average side, if I'm being completely honest. But Sheffield United, at that token, are also, I believe, quite an average side. I think a lot of steam, a lot of enthusiasm's probably died off from last season, the first season in the Premier League. So I've seen them they've had a bit of a slow start. Obviously, they drew Sheffield United. They drew with no, they didn't draw, did they? They lost to Aston Villa, which is even worse, and lost to Wolves. So it's 2 games in, 2 defeats for the Blades. Obviously, Leeds coming off the back of a good win against Fulham at home, although they were a bit shaky towards the end. I can see it's a game because it's a Yorkshire derby and because of the time I see it, I just think it's a game neither of them will want to lose. I think they'll cancel each other out, so I've gone for a 1-1. The next game is Tottenham versus Newcastle United at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, or the new White Hart Lane, or whatever you want to call it. I've gone for a 4-0 win to Tottenham. Might be surprised a few because Newcastle did have a strong start to the season with the win against West Ham. They got humbled a bit against Brighton, but as I said, I don't think that's any shame because I think Brighton might lead up to a few teams this season. They're looking really good. But the second half performance by Tottenham at Southampton, although Southampton didn't help themselves in the slightest of the line they played, they look scintillating going forward. Adding to the mix a bit of Gareth Bale and Reguilon flying down the flanks. Yeah, it's just hard for me to look past the Spurs win. I can see them just blowing Newcastle away. And a happy homecoming for Gareth Bale if he plays. So yeah, Tottenham for Newcastle 0. Then it's on to our lot, the Mighty Foxes. We travel to Manchester City to take on Manchester City, not Manchester City, not Manufactured City. I've got to get my digs in now because I'm predicting a 4-0 drubbing. I mean, when City are on song and they click, they just go through teams like a knife through butter. You can't live with them.
No.
And I think that's going to be the case. I think they started the season well. Against Wolves last night, although Wolves had their moments, they just look superb at times. And I don't know, we showed a bit of defensive frailties against Burnley the other night. I just can't see us getting anything. Maybe 4-0 is a bit harsh. Maybe it will be a bit more competitive like you predicted. I hope it is. Like you said, I hope when you play teams like Man City, you just want to go and give a good account of yourselves. You want to go and have a go. Yeah. And you want to walk off a bit of personal pride. You don't expect a result. If you get a point, happy days. It's a bonus. You get a win, take your shirt off.
Yeah.
But it's one of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, Manchester City 4, Leicester 0. Moving on then to West Ham versus Wolves. I've gone for a 3-1 away win to Wolverhampton Wanderers. I mentioned in the Man City game that they had good spells. They did have good moments, missed plenty of chances. Jimenez the guilty party, Pedent's guilty. So although they lost, certainly nothing to be ashamed of losing to City in the manner they did.
No.
And I got a good win in the first game away at Sheffield United. And West Ham, I mean, if you look up turmoil in the dictionary, it's just a picture of West Ham's badge. It really is. It's just one thing after another at that club. It just seems to be absolutely horrendous, going downhill. It's a sinking ship. That's the feeling I get of Aston Villa, West Ham. Sorry, they're a sinking ship. Yep, same colours. Still both shit. So yeah, I think it's just a sinking ship slowly going down, and I think I can't see them. I think honestly, I'm gonna say this now. I think West Ham will probably go down the next few years, and they'll need to go down and have a clear out and come back up. So I just think there's a lot of poison around that club, stemming from the boardroom down. So it's going to be another frustrating afternoon for West Ham. I've gone for Wolves 3, West Ham 1. Moving on then to the next game, it is Fulham versus Aston Villa, which is, I believe, a replay of the 2018 playoff final. 2018 playoff final when Tom Kearney scored.
Yes.
Yeah, they beat Villa, beat the Violet Wembley. Yeah, that's it. I've gone for 1-1. Like you said, again, probably going to be a bit. I mean, I watched Villa last night. They played against 10 men for 80 odd minutes, and they were dire. I mean, they won it by a corner in the end. A set piece got them out of jail. They don't excite me. I'm not a massive fan of Dean Smith. They signed some good championship players, but that's what they are. And I just think it's going to be another poor season for Villa. I think when they win games or bore teams to death like last night. Fulham. I like Scotty Park. I like what he's trying to do, but I just don't think they have enough quality. It doesn't seem to be clicking perfectly at the moment. If you're asking me who I want to win, I'd like to see Fulham pick up 3 points. I think they deserved it the way they fought back against Leeds at the weekend and obviously missed out just 4-3. But I've gone for 1-1. It's going to be another drab affair. And then moving on to my final prediction of the weekend, it's Liverpool versus Arsenal. I've gone for 3-1 to the home side. Liverpool just look. I've said at the start of the season, I thought they'd struggle to go again. I thought having won the league last season, they'd lose that, subconsciously lose that 1 or 2% of intensity, the willingness, the willpower. But no, not at all. The signing of Thiago is, it's what's the word? Aroused them. I mean, that's the right word. It's got
close enough.
Lit a spark up their arse, and they just look like playing good football. Arsenal also look like a different beast under Arteta. We've mentioned it before, but I just think Liverpool, like you said, are just a tier above Arsenal now. And if Liverpool are on song, despite what Arsenal do, Liverpool should run out relatively comfortable winners. So I've gone for Liverpool 3, Arsenal 1, and that rounds up my predictions for game week 3.
Lovely. That is all we have time for. They're both our predictions for game week 3, as you've seen on the screen below. As always, guys, post your predictions in the comments below. By all means, join in with us. If you disagree with some of these, or you agree, or you just want to comment, feel free. We want to speak to as many as you as possible. But as for now, that's all we've got time for. Until next week, take care.